Hello everyone, this is Sensei Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Fallout London. Now the canny of you may be thinking, wait a minute, we're not in Camden, and indeed we aren't. Because thinking on it after recording the last episode, I decided it would be better to do this quest by the Waterloo Waterworks first. This is one of the locations where we went past here, but never went inside of it. Which is fortunate because this might have been very aggravating if I didn't know about it. And we just got done getting jumped by some pig wrecks. And you may note Jack has a new outfit. To go with his new attitude, I decided that since we're going to be joining Camelot, I upgraded some of the armor for him. He is now wearing the Junkie Knight armor with a concealing helm and looking pretty darn spiffy if I do say so myself. But anyway, the waterworks here are a water purification plant that is being guarded by the Tommies. It's not too far from the London Eye, and there are two locations that are part of it. They are in fact the same location, but we don't figure that out until after we take the quest. And it's very easy to think that there's nothing here, because if you go into this second building first, your thing is just going to be a place to loot, because we got
anything you need.
A conscript, then we got this sergeant, corporal,
around these parts?
Are we being fucked with?
trying to kick the door down, and there's enemies. Well, if we look around, we can read this release order. This document authorizes the release of the below-named prisoner currently held in military custody. The purpose of this authorization is to facilitate the lawful release of the aforementioned individual by an approved officer. The officer is S. Robinson, officer rank corporal. I don't know if that's supposed to imply if this guy is a prisoner or somebody else is a prisoner, but anyway, we can't do anything in this particular location just yet, which is why we have to go to the other waterworks building, which is a short walk away. And while we're waiting, I should mention that actually there's another reason I chose to do this mission first. For some weird reason, I tried going here twice and doing the Westminster stuff twice. The game kept crashing. And eventually I had to reboot my computer and came here. So I just decided, okay, I'm taking this as a sign. We should go ahead and do this one first, because I think this whole quest will probably take up an entire half hour. Anyway, we walk around, and we got Waterloo Station over here. With a bunch of Tommies watching it. So we go inside the Waterloo Waterworks, and it will look like there's not much you can do here. Just a bunch of Tommies standing around, a bunch of settlers standing in line, waiting to get water. And it's not until you get a good ways in that you find a uniquely named person who we can speak to. You know, see water downstairs, entry 5 tickets, bring your own or buy a bucket. And settler going for a rather unsettling look there. Nobody's going to mind if we cut in line, right? I didn't think so. Okay, so we have to go all the way to this rather smug-looking private.
Oi, you there. I need someone to help me out with a job. You interested?
What's the job?
Good, good. The job's simple, really. The water collection points in the lower tunnels are filled with all kinds of tat. I need you to clear them out for me. It's not dangerous down there. It's where all the punters go. I just ain't got the time to do it.
Got a busy schedule of just standing around doing nothing, so how'd the rubbish get in there?
Probably from the flooded section of the station. Floated right to the top.
Okay. Where are the water collection points?
They're in the lower tunnels. Just head down there and you should be able to find them.
You should be able to. Why do you really need me to do this?
I'm not a strong swimmer, okay? Can't risk falling in. There ain't exactly many places to practice these days, unless you want a lethal dose of rads.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll get to it.
Thank God for that. God save our gracious
Okay, so you'll note that we have these water collection points here. And we will need to select the quest here. And I'm trying to get to where I can take the bucket. And yeah, you may note that there's a slight problem with this water.
We won't go quietly, you can count on that.
It is, in fact, completely
God
radioactive.
save the Queen.
Okay, well, good news is we did clear it.
Where'd you come from?
Well, my mom and my dad met, and it went from there.
You'd have to be insane to take on the Tommies. You're back. You done it yet?
Yeah, I did what you asked. Can I get a medal or something?
Yeah. Your MBE is in the post. Go speak with Pope. He'll get you up to speed on the situation. He's downstairs. Cheers.
Alright. And for this next part, I'm going to make sure I do not have a weapon selected, because I'm going to need to punch my way through some things.
So, you're the one not afraid of getting your hands dirty, eh? Well, we need someone to help me and Chloe out with a job. You in?
What's the job?
Good, good. We've been having trouble with the water purification system.
You don't say!
Leeches down there that have been causing all sorts of problems. We need someone to clear them out and turn the decontamination valves.
Where are these leeches?
They're in the restricted zone of the lower tunnels. Down that shaft behind me. They're dangerous, so be careful.
How many leeches?
It's hard to say exactly, but there are quite a few. Maybe half a dozen. We've been there. Just be prepared for a fight.
What'll happen if we don't turn on the purifier?
If we don't get the purifier working again, people will start getting sick for the irradiated water.
Start?
It's not pretty, trust me.
Okay, what happened to the purifiers? Why is the water irradiated?
The current purifiers have been out of action, so we've mostly been using purification tablets to keep up the facade of clean water.
Oh,
But to be honest
fantastic.
with you, those ran out ages ago. So we've just been selling slightly less irradiated water on the shush. That's not ideal. But we've got to make do with what we've got.
Uh-huh. I'll get right to it
Stay safe,
then.
mate. Mind the gap and all that.
If only so you scumbags aren't
Britannia,
selling any more
boys.
radioactive...
Britons never shall be slaves.
And yes, I am in fact punching these, because if you use my old favorite explosive revolver, you risk setting the Tommies off on you. Now, thankfully, it isn't waist-deep water here or anything. But it is still easy to get caught in a tight corner. I'm doing pretty good at making those only a 20% chance shots. And this one's a giant armored leech.
Hold up. Get ready to fight.
And a giant fanged leech. I wonder. I could not quite get that over the barbed wire. Did not mean to drink that. Ugh. There's no way to cancel once you start the animation.
I'm gonna tear you in half and drink your blood. Yeah! Come on, hit me!
Alright, so that would be all the leeches. There's valve 1. There's valve 2. And over this way in the far corner is valve 3. And yeah, you can go in here, but it doesn't do you any good. No, you actually have to go through that passage here. Unfortunately, this winds up awakening a bloat mother. Now somehow I can hit the torso. Well, it claims I can hit the torso, even though I really can't.
Do you just make a noise?
I did not just make a noise. And yeah, we got a sunken area, so there's really no way to avoid getting up close to this one.
Huh. Guess it was just the ringing in my ears.
Nope.
I'm just gonna splash some of this on me and cool.
Okay. So now, having dealt with those, we can go back to Private Pope.
You're back. Did you take care of the leeches and turn the valves?
Yeah, I took care of it.
Seriously, mate, I can't thank you enough for helping out. You see, we were forced to sell all that dirty water to the punters. The gentry didn't want anyone to know.
Uh-huh.
It's been a dirty business, let me tell you. But we didn't have a choice. Either we played ball with a toff, so they'd have our guts for garters.
Uh-huh.
Now that you've turned those valves, no contaminated water can get into the system. But I'm afraid that's not all. Those valves were just meant to stop more contaminated water from getting into the system. The actual water purifier is a separate system that needs to be reactivated manually.
Here it
Head up to
comes.
the water station and speak to the corporal there. He's the one in charge of overseeing the purifier. But no, it ain't his fault we had to black things down here, so leave him be. Eh?
Okay.
Yep, don't mind me.
So, we go and walk over to that place where we started out. We can talk to the corporal there, and we can indeed get him informed that, okay, things are going well now. But then he'll say, well, I need you to get inside there. Problem is, that means we have to come back here and fight our way through this gap in the wall where there are more leeches, who somehow did not factor into the previous leech fight.
Nice work. You hear that? Sounds like a fight.
Yeah, that would be the fight that I'm involved in. Okay, so now we have to find a way to open this door, which it says requires a terminal. Yeah, I think my explosive... Oh wait, that's a cable. Looks like a leech, though. And yeah, we can hear the corporal knocking around. Counts as theft to take the overdue library book somehow. And I don't really feel like trying to read the files, so let's just go with manual door override. So that will open the door, but we can also go all the way up here.
What are you doing down here, civilian?
I turned all the decontamination valves, I came here to reactivate the purifier, and my friend is squashing the roaches.
You did? That's excellent news. If the situation down there didn't resolve itself, I would have had to report them to the IWM. And that wouldn't have been good for anyone. With the valves tightened, the purification system should finally work again.
Should.
You know what? I'll let you do the honors. It's that switch over there. Good.
I'll go turn on the purifier. So yeah, he says that switch over there. Which in fact means this switch down here.
You fixed the water purifier. Good job, civilian. The service you've done is top-notch, I have to say. With the water purifier up and running, we can finally provide clean water again.
Huzzah!
Here, payment for your efforts. A little more than the usual rate due to the sensitive nature of the work. Just keep quiet about it. If it got out that we were selling dirty water, some folks might stop coming, even though it's clean again.
And there we have completed Water is Wet, and we are this close to hitting level 54. Well, I think we might just have enough time to get to Camden to start the Scottish play quest. I did also think about saving it and doing it with All the World's a Stage so we can have all the theater plays together in one go, but I'm feeling pretty good about this, and that's going to be a bit more exciting and fun than trying to walk our way through Westminster so I can start one of the two quests there we've got left. But beyond that, there's one more two-parter in London involving a location that we discovered fairly early on but didn't go into. That's the one I mentioned last time that I did off camera but never actually recorded because, well, you'll see why it's not an optimal quest. There's not really a way to get the best possible ending the way I like to get my endings, with relatively little blood on my hands and a bit of clever chat. And I think they set this quest up deliberately so that you get introduced to the Fallout rule of how there aren't really any heroes and a happy ending is usually incidental to what you're trying to do. But just in case there's a crash, we'll go ahead and save and make our way to Camden. Because thankfully we will not have to walk far into Camden. The Hippodrome Theater is right by the main entrance, and I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't discover this one on my own. But I just thought it was there for show, given, well, everything. But yeah, I am kind of amused by the irony that for all the quests I stumbled across and walked into in this game, the two that involve theater, I didn't do as a, theater major, semi-actor, and all-around stagecrafty kind of guy. But hey, we can at least get this one started. Right, so here we go, and there is the hippo. And the minute we step in, speak to the stage director at the Camden Theater. That'd be this guy, Scott Nightingale, who despite all appearances is not Oliver Queen.
You! I told you once, I won't tell you again. The light booth is up on the second level, understand?
Excuse me?
Second level! You do understand numbers, don't you? God, they don't make stagehands like the old days.
Yeah, I'm not a stagehand.
Then you don't matter to me. Unless... Hold on a moment. If you're not a stagehand, you might be of some use to me. How would you like to make some money?
I would like that very much. Wouldn't I be of more use to you if I was under your employ?
Not exactly. Because then you'd have to pay union dues. And I'd have to follow those accursed safety guidelines. Trust me, you're better off as a temp. You see, I am Scott Nightingale, the director of Camden Theatre, and you have found me in the middle of preparations for my newest play, William Shakespeare's Macbeth. However, this production has been problematic. Some amongst the crew believe this play to be cursed. It's all nonsense, of course, but it's a commonly held superstition. Even the fanatics at the Globe Theatre don't dare perform Macbeth.
Tell me more about the curse.
There's an ancient theatrical superstition which claims that speaking the name Macbeth inside a theater leads to disaster. Now, because that's also the name of the damn protagonist, most actors refer to it as the Scottish play, outside of rehearsals and performances. This is, of course, incredibly stupid. But a recent string of bad luck has led my cast and crew to believe the curse is in full effect.
What do you want from me?
I need you to help me with a small problem. I'm missing part of the play. A minor part, not much to worry about, just the final act. When the troupe at Shakespeare's Globe isn't murdering the bard's work on stage, they scour the waste for the surviving copies of his plays. They have Macbeth, including the fifth act. They're too afraid to perform it, too afraid to give it away. They don't need it. I'm sure security is lax. Perhaps you could walk in and relieve them of their copy.
You're missing an entire act. That's hardly a small problem.
There are worse problems to have than missing a few pages. What if my lead actor is missing or dead? Have some perspective, for Christ's sake.
You just had to tempt fate, didn't you? Tell me more about yourself, Scott.
I suggest you read the playbill, as the first 2 pages have my complete biography. But I suppose I can give you the short version. My mother and father were firm supporters of the gentry. In return, they were rewarded with the theater. And then my mother, well, passed. At first, father wanted to sell it, but seeing as I was the only Nightingale not interested in politics, he thought it best to pass the theater on to me.
You want me to steal? Why not just ask for it?
I want you to steal for art, culture, and the betterment of mankind. If that is not a worthy cause, I do not know what is. Besides, I've already asked numerous times.
All right, what do you want me to do again?
Lucky for you, I do not mind repetition. In fact, I savor it. Bring me a copy of Macbeth's fifth and final act.
I'll be on my way.
Be quick about it. Time is money.
And yet, just to give you all a quick view,
No bugs, no dirt. What kind of creepy place is this?
not bad, eh? And I think we can run backstage and talk to the leading lady. And they did not record her line there. I'm busy rehearsing. Talk to me later. And it looks like, well, that's it. We can't talk to anybody else back here because there is nobody else back here. That's not creepy at all. But yeah, I do love how somebody designed this intricate theater space. But we can't really do much with any of it. Although there is Mr. Handy tending the bar, who we can't talk to. So yeah. Thus starts the Scottish play quest. And next time, we will pick up at the Globe Theatre, and I will, off camera, get things set up so that we could start doing All the World's a Stage if we were so inclined. But thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you are so inclined. And we'll continue with the Scottish play and the Curse on the Theatre next time. Take care until then.